In the forest, still cloaked in the half-light before dawn, a faint murmur lingered. A thin veil of mist drifted over the ground, yet it no longer held the same texture as the mist of the day before. From something almost invisible, like a haze, came the repeated sounds of collisions and bursts. Out of it, shapes of living things had been born, and little time had passed since those beings had departed for somewhere beyond. At the edge of the village, where the mist still clung to the air, a silent yet alien scene had taken shape. At first glance, it seemed as though fences had been broken and trees snapped. But the truth was stranger. The material itself had melted, leaving only outlines behind before vanishing. Part of a fence stood as a hollow shell, its fibrous layers unnaturally peeled away, as though the very core of the wood had been extracted. On the ground, faint residues of light mingled with the damp fog, forming amorphous patterns burned into the earth, patterns that felt unmistakably like traces. Across the outer wall of a small hut, blotched depressions pitted the surface, each one an irregular scar, as though something had selectively sorted and absorbed information from the structure itself. The villagers did not call this an act of destruction. They all felt it. This was being eaten, and not the eating of life or matter, but the records that had once existed in this place. The silence enfolding the village made that truth inescapable. And yet, a faint loosening had returned to the air of the village. Has it ended? It was Akina who first broke the silence among the few gathered around the fire. No, nothing has ended. It has only appeared once. The village chief answered in a low voice, eyes fixed on the flames. In the village center, some had already begun repairing the collapsed sections of the fence. The damage caused by the creature was minimal, but the shock it left upon their hearts was far greater. That thing, it won't remain in any record, right? Yuto asked. It won't, but it will remain in those who felt it. Yalea narrowed her eyes at the wavering flames. Akina gave a bitter smile. But that's no proof. In other villages, they wouldn't even believe it was ever here. That is as it should be. There was a note of quiet consolation in Yalea's voice. Mugui is a being that interferes with the memory of the stars. It has always existed alongside nature, apart from any human record. Mugui? So it has a name? Yuto said. It has long been called that, a being that slips past the net of observation, appearing as if to devour the record itself, again and again, as wind, as dreams, as something like the flicker of a flame. The village elder nodded. Among our own people, words have also remained to speak of a similar presence. It had no name, but there was, without doubt, something that was. Akina looked unconvinced, but she closed her mouth. Instead, she murmured quietly, "So, an existence can be real, even without a record?" No one answered. Only the crackle of the fire and the slow return of birdsong pushed the night back. Yuto rose quietly to his feet. He tilted his head back, gazing at the sky. There was no answer to my question, but I feel as though it reached something. Erea smiled. That is the proof that it has taken shape here and now. Yuto turned his thoughts toward the far side of the forest. The mist was beginning to lift. And yet beyond the horizon, it seemed that a deep night still lingered. Even without a record, some things can still be conveyed. I want to keep searching for them, just a little longer. No one tried to stop him. Each person sat by the fire, at times lowering their gaze, then lifting it again. The world looked unchanged, but something had, without doubt, begun. The wind stirred, the forest trees swayed. Within that wind, the presence of the Mugui, which should never be recorded, was unmistakably woven in. And the story now stood quietly before a new door.